Carmen Sandiego Season 2 is finally approaching our present. I can see it coming up over the horizon, if you look right over there.
Right there. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
We've compiled a wish list of the things that we hope will happen in Season 2.
Player's Day Out. It's just an episode where player finally leaves his room. It plays out just like any other episode of Carmen Sandiego, except, like, every time Carmen is like, hey player, I need information on the thing that we're doing, it just cuts to an empty chair at his computer desk.
Empty chairs and empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone.
But he's not dead and gone, because he comes back in the end of the episode. He was just grocery shopping.
The important thing about Player's Day Out is that there's an episode immediately after that just details everything that Player did. Yeah. So he goes to the grocery store, he visits the Apple store to get something fixed, he calls to make a dentist appointment, and then he realizes there's a schedule conflict, so he has to call back to reschedule that appointment. Player just does a whole lot of things, and none of them are at all related to the fact that he's an incredible genius at programming and hacking. So he has a life outside of the Carmen-verse.
Yeah. Our next episode on the wish list is Into the Carmen-verse.
No, it's not.
Oh. An episode where Chase Stefano replaces his lucky coat that got damaged.
Right. This is, I think, going to be a vital character development moment for Chase, because, you know...
He's been stripped of everything he is.
Exactly. Like, metaphorically and literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we see that he had brought another jacket in Season 2, but it just wasn't right. And I think that we really need a full shopping montage and also a makeover episode dedicated entirely to Chase Stefano reinventing himself and finding out who he really wants to be.
Yeah. Also, I think he's gonna, like, try on a red coat, but realize it's not it, because every time he looks at his reflection, he thinks it's Carmen Sandiego.
So, wait, your idea was that Chase Stefano tries on a red trench coat, but it makes him too confused.
La Femme Rouge!
Yeah.
No, just like out of the corner of his eye whenever he sees his reflection.
No!
There she is!
Yeah. That's really tragic. But it's also kind of beautiful in a poetic way.
I think you should lean into, like, the crop top look with, like, a cropped jacket. Because you can't slice the bottom off of that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, truly, that's the most ergonomic
It's
option.
practical, it's fashionable, it's perfect for the new Chase Stefano.
One thing that I am really hoping makes it into Season 2 is the Boston flashback.
Yes. Backstory we desperately need.
Yeah, we get, like, a couple of lines about some inside lore about how Carmen met Zach and Ivy. We know it was in Boston, and it involved a donut shop.
Yeah, donut shop run by Vile.
But I think that this is ripe ground for fleshing out, and by fleshing out, I just mean literally a 30-second flashback where Zach and Ivy are in a donut shop, and they're about to, like, exchange money for a donut, and Carmen just runs in the door, snacks it out of their hands, and says, "No, they're evil!" And then Zach and Ivy look at the sign on the donut shop, and it just says, "Vile Donuts. Carmen Sandiego, known thief throughout the world, globally recognized as a criminal. She takes the very same hand that she used to smack the donuts out of their hands, and she offers a handshake to each of them and says, 'Will you commit international fraud with me?' And they're like, 'Well, we got nothing better to do. Looks like our plans for the day just got shortchanged.'" because their plans were just to eat donuts.
Yeah.
Julia just needed Chase to nerf her, because without having a terribly incompetent boss, she would be too powerful. So, now that she has that restriction lifted from her, she's just gonna decimate everything
She's
and everyone.
unstoppable.
I can't wait to see Julia without limits.
Yeah. She's literally just gonna, like, crush everybody.
I hope she just doesn't go like, oh, okay, I guess Carmen is evil.
Yeah. She seems to have, like, slightly more critical thinking than
Yeah.
literally everybody else on the planet.
Every single character.
And maybe she's, like, capable of conceiving nuance, which I think is, like, charming for
yeah.
a children's animated program. It really endears her to me.
A program where the evil characters call themselves evil.
Yeah. So that's why I think that Julia has the power to go completely off the chain, but she won't because she has a brain. A day in the life of Graham,
Yeah.
the electrician, who works at the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we see him in his natural work environment. He's, you know, he's rerouting power sources. He's, you know, turning on lights. He's turning off lights. This is the part where I betray how little I know about electricians.
Yeah.
His villain name was so good
Yeah.
that I don't think Vile can resist just leaving him as a civilian. I think they're going to try to get him back because he was the only student whose codename wasn't an animal.
Yeah.
And that's a valuable limited resource.
Yeah.
What about Mime Bomb and Paper Star?
Anyway, I think he should
A
start...
mime is an animal.
I think he should start his own electrician company and call it Graham Crackle. Like, that's on all his business cards.
Alright, yeah.
Like, and he doesn't remember, like, where he got that name
He's
from.
just like, it just
came
occurred
to
to
him.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but it was perfect.
It came to me in a forgotten dream. So I think Carmen's gonna try to get him on her team because it always helps to have someone who, like, knows electricity around.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good premise
Yes.
because Gray thinks that he was just literally hired as an electrician and not to be used as leverage against Vile. But he's, like, living his best life because he's fulfilling his passion, which is to be an electrician.
Yeah.
Carmen's gonna be like, do I tell him about his past? Or do I just let him live his life as an
Yeah.
electrician?
Mm.
And it's the cause of a great amount of anguish. And the whole thing resolves with Zach accidentally being like, oh, by the way, you used to be a villain. You used to commit horrible crimes and you almost killed a man. 75% of the Earth is water. So I think that at least one episode should take place in international waters where, like, the laws of countries don't apply.
So, like a cruise ship episode.
Yeah.
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 So, a member of Vile starts a cruise ship. Like a
Yeah.
line of cruise ships.
It's like a scam, though.
Yeah, but here's a secret. It's a scam. Alright, so here's an idea. Chase Deveneaux, who has just been fired from Acme because he's really bad at being a detective, decides to go on a vacation. And he sees this really cheap cruise line has just opened up. And it's called Evil Cruise. And he's like, this seems like the perfect way for me to get away from my terrible life. Turns out, La Femme Rouge is also on that cruise ship because she knows that it's being run by an evil organization. And, of course, Julia is also on the cruise ship because she's actually investigating the problem.
Oh, it's a big old reunion.
Yeah. But, you know, there's only like 7 people on the ship. And they can also talk a little bit about the cruise ship industry and how,
Yeah.
you know, gambling is allowed because it's not technically under national regulation, and how, like, you know, a lot of crimes never get addressed because it falls under maritime law rather than under national law. I think that could be like a really rich discussion for kids.
Yeah.
Graham Crackle is also on the cruise ship with all the other characters because he is working there as an electrician. So we got Vile, we got Carmen, we got Acme, we got Chase, we got Gray. All your faves are there, and they all have different motives. And they have to duke it out in a place where there are no laws. Carmen leaves Earth.
Yeah.
Goes to the moon.
Yes.
Then they're like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And it's like,
She's not
in this world. Vile would love to steal the moon. Because they don't really, like, think through the, like, horrific consequences they would have for, like, Earth's tides and, you know, the amount of, like, space debris that's gonna happen. The thing about the moon is that kind of anyone can claim it if you just happen to be in the right spot and you have a flag. So, you know, Vile could just get there and just be like, chunk.
First, they go to the U.S. flag, they're like, boink.
Yeah.
Like, boink. That's better.
Yes. They have to take the American flag out and then just put their own flag in.
Which Vile operative did they send for this mission? I think Leshev.
Right. He likes high places.
Yes.
And there's nowhere higher than the moon.
Yeah.
Lechevre is tasked with stealing the moon, which is really just amounts to taking out the American flag and putting, like, a Vile insignia in its place. And, of course, we have to stop him from doing this because, you know, if Vile owned the moon, what's gonna happen next? So the ramifications of Vile stealing the moon are basically that Vile now has the moon.
Yeah.
They can't do anything with it. They can't... Yeah.
It's just a power move.
Carmen Sandiego as a show likes to portray historical and factual accuracy. So because this episode takes place in space, there's not going to be any sound. Because sound doesn't travel in space.
Yeah.
That's why they need to bring the mime along.
Oh. So it's Mime Bomb and Leshev.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
At the end of that episode, they just come to the realization that, like, nobody can own the moon. What were we thinking? It's just a rock in space. And, like, any claim to ownership that you can have over it is completely superficial. Player becomes seduced by the dark side. Player's whole thing is that he just gathers information and is able to deliver it to whichever party he's loyal to. Right now, that's Carmen and her friends. But, you know, that power could also be used for horrific evil.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he just, like, can immediately name anyone who's anywhere and, like, has, like, enough data to bring them down. So, you know, if Vile offered him, like, healthcare benefits for doing the exact thing he already does, like, I would take that offer. It's like one of those classic, like, sitcom episodes where, like, you're dating two people at the same time. You can't let either date figure out that you're also on another date, so you just have to keep, like, running back and forth and changing clothes. That's Player, except he's friends with both Carmen and Vile. So he's just, like, retrieving information about, like, various people and places at a dangerous rate. And he's giving Carmen whatever she asks for, but he's also giving Vile whatever he asks for. I think that's the way to explore Player's morality, because right now, what he's doing is kind of unethical, but if it's for the right reasons, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's for, you know, an evil organization, that's gonna be kind of a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
So this plot, it's gonna be also really funny, because he's gonna be on a voice chat with Carmen, and then it's gonna be like, oops, sorry, I'm busy. And then he switches to talking to Vile. And then, she's like, hey, where were you? And he was like, getting groceries. It's fertile ground for comical misunderstandings. but also it'll give him a chance to explore his own priorities.
Yeah.
Like,
sitcoms, it never ends well when they're trying to date two people.
exactly. It ends with them dating nobody.
Yeah.
Also, like, everything that Player does is kind of unethical. Just, like, mining resources that are meant to be kept secret and, like, uncovering everybody's whereabouts and locations at all times. So, I think it would be interesting to see him play both sides of that coin, like using that for security reasons and using that to completely destroy people's lives.
What would happen if Player and Julia joined forces?
Oh.
The two most powerful characters in all of Carmen Sandiego canon.
Yeah, what if, like, Acme recruited Player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Player should be a part of all three organizations.
That would be great!
Oh my god!
Player becomes a player.
The episode title is called Player Becomes a Player, where he is simultaneously dating Acme, Vile, and Team Carmen. So, Chief is going to be revealed to be she's going to be like Synergy from Gem,
Yeah.
where she literally is just a hologram. She was
Yeah.
never a person.
I thought you were gonna say revealed to be Carmen Sandiego's mother.
Is that what Synergy was?
Well,
She's, like,
Synergy's,
modeled
like,
after
modeled
Jem's
after
mother.
Jericho's
Yeah.
mother.
Okay, so just like Synergy and Gem, Chief is modeled after Carmen Sandiego's mother and was built by her father. So Carmen's mom's consciousness kind of lives on, in a way, as much as you can preserve that sort of thing. This is too weird even for me.
Yeah, this is gonna come out there.
Yeah.
So that's our wish list for Carmen Sandiego Season 2. We also think that a lot of these are definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Full certainty.
We know.
Everything
Absolutely.
we've said here is prophecy.
Yeah. We saw the future and also we wrote the season.
Yeah.
So we already know. What do you think is going to happen in Carmen Sandiego 2019 Season 2?
What in the world could happen?